When I watch a Bond film and I see him basically pimp a bitch, to me that speaks to my heart. I've been there.
Welcome back. I'm Jen. This is Pete. We are going to be reacting to some Andrew Tate. We're reacting to some Andrew Tate. Let's get salty. Okay, back here at MilkBarTV, and I'm just going to go ahead and subscribe over here. Good stuff. Thank you. Haven't watched him before. Here we go.
This is a lesson for you. When you bullshit and when you lie, you don't like to make firm points because you're giving points of attack, right? If you make a firm statement, it's firmly debunked.
Is it true that you and your brother made money from video chat studios?
No, that's not true at all. That's not true at all. I first became a multimillionaire by running a webcam studio.
So I ran a webcam studio.
I used to run a webcam business. We used to just start fucking hammering the webcam game. And over time, I just built up this big little empire of webcam girls. At one point, I had 4 locations, 75 girls working for me.
How long ago was your webcam business?
Yeah, so I stopped having any involvement with it. I think 8 to 9 years ago, I stopped. It was a long time ago. It was at the early stages of the internet.
When Corona came, I scaled it back up, right? Because Corona came. It was locked down. My casinos were closed, so I lost an income. I was making $500,000 a month from casinos. That closed because they're physical locations in Romania. That closed, and I thought, well, everyone's at home bored. Let me get the webcam going again. So I got 20 more girls online. We scaled that back up to $300,000 or $400,000 a month. So I got back into the game hard.
I helped the girls set up accounts.
You start with a girl. You download OnlyFans on your phone. You take her ID pictures, her name, everything it takes to verify the account. You verify the account on your phone, and you control the account. So you are now in charge of her OnlyFans.
The girl.
He's talking about using another person's identity, using another person's tax information, controlling the person's account, private account information, misrepresenting their tax information. The things that he confesses to in these snippets are just a long list. And here's the thing. This context defense that Andrew Tate makes to his followers, it's not a defense in most courtrooms to a direct quote out of his mouth. There's no way to say, Judge, I said that, but I only meant in this situation. I would never consider lying to you, Judge, only to every other person. The thing about Mr. Tate here is he has no credibility. That matters more or less in varying situations. The situation he's in right now, facing trial in Romania, that's where it really matters. A lot of people are under the false impression that the Tate brothers have been exonerated and their ordeal is over. They're still on house arrest. They're still awaiting trial in Romania. Nothing has been resolved and no one has been proven innocent.
Girls would sit there fully clothed.
They're sitting there with their tits out on a computer. I had naked girls sitting on the internet talking to guys.
Just laughing and doing this. Their titties out. So I actually think that webcamming and girls as a whole is closer to therapy than it is porn. Truly, these men are completely miserable, and the only joy they have is logging into that.
There might be truth to that.
So I don't think I did exploit that. We got to the point where we had these guys falling in love with my models, serious, big time in love, right? Sending crazy money, and they were convinced they were going to meet the chick, and they were talking to fucking ice cold hustlers. We were taking their money, all of it. They'd come and say, what kind of, all of it. We were fucking milking them dry. So they come up.
Men, salesmen, hustlers, posing as women while the woman was on the camera. Someone else was pretending to be the woman and talking to these paid watchers and collecting all their money. So when these guys thought they were talking to the woman that they were looking at, there were probably 50 other men thinking they were talking to the same woman, and they were just talking to some dude. So I do think that that's kind of funny, and that should be expected. But where Tate gets into problems is not what he said to the men who were paying the webcam girls. I think it's where he made representations to the girls as people that he was paying. who were out of the country and on visas and in a dependency status. So that's where he's going to have a little bit more trouble justifying the promises and the representations he made and then the misrepresentations he made.
Along and they said, "Oh, you're a human trafficker." I said, "Well, I've never transported anyone. I've never kidnapped anyone. I've never restricted anyone. I've never held anyone." They said, "No, but you're a human trafficker by the lover boy method." I said, "What's?"
Did they say no? He just covered like 4 things. I've never restricted anyone. When people make these kinds of general, open-ended statements, to me, it tells me they're just trying to influence me. They're not being truthful.
That. It's where you pretend to love them. So what, being nice? So I was nice to some girls 10 years ago? Is that my crime? Maybe I did love them.
What he's using right now, this tone, this is a very classic playing dumb tone. Notice as he ends his sentences, they end on the up note. They end with upward tonality. He's pointing out his incredulousness, along with the furrowed brows. This is to make somebody else feel silly or to suggest that something is silly. It's downplaying, misrepresenting, and it's a sell. This is a false persona right here. This whole affect is just bullshit.
Well, we're not together anymore, so what? I pretended? Who said I pretended? Prove I pretended to love, and then what did I pretend?
It's a narrative, and he's distracting from the actual accusations by going off into this narrative that isn't actually responsive to the accusations.
And to love them to achieve.
I have to fuck her so she obeys me. I don't give a shit about having sex with beautiful women. I fuck them so they listen to me. So I can get what I actually want, which is not them. To me.
Again, he's telling you the lie, and then whoever edited this is just brilliant because they paste in the admission right afterward. Why would I do that? Why would I ever? What would I be achieving? Now he's telling you, achieving control, achieving money, achieving assets. Why would he do that? He's telling you. Does he sound like a person who would do that? He's telling you he's a person who would do that.
Means to an end. Every single Bond girl is exploited. That's exactly what I do. When I watch a Bond film and I see him basically pimp a bitch, to me that speaks to my heart. I've been there. I've done that. Anyone who's followed me long enough knows that I first made my $1 million with a webcam business.
I'm sorry. Okay, it's hard to take seriously. When I watch someone pimp a bitch, that speaks to my heart. I think Andrew Tate's opening up, showing us his heart. And in his heart, there's a big pimp necklace. He fancies himself James Bond. Well, it makes sense because that's the fantasy. And a lot of these men who are calling up on this channel, they're living that fantasy and he's giving it to them. I get it.
Met beautiful women with a good personality and thought, she will make me money. I have to fuck this bitch. I don't want to have sex with her. I just need the money.
I like to think there's a statute of limitations. Like, how long are you going to hold?
They will for the rest of your career.
I'm sure they will. And it's fine. And that's fine. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, it's just like, okay, 10 years ago, 10 years, a decade.
Even if that were true, he was doing UFC more than a decade ago and still trading on it. He's pimping and trading on a UFC reputation that he made more than 10 years ago after he got his ass kicked out of UFC.
But now we're coming towards the end of Corona. I'm going to keep like 5 or 6 of my main girls.
The bullshit!
It's Britney, bitch.
A big banner saying any women who think Andrew's amazing, want a free life, and just come along for the ride.
Here is your headline. Scranton area paper company, Dunder Mifflin.
Inbox him now, but they got to be hot. Make it something just like fit bitches apply here. Put an email address.
Apologizes to valued client.
In a more, likable way.
Some companies still know how business is done.
Beautiful young ladies apply here or something.
Okay?
And we need like a montage of like the Aston. You do like some slow shots on the outside, and
We zoom back to find that she's in the desert. And the field is an oasis.
This is pure brilliance. This is wait.
You know why they call me Prison Mike?
Do you really expect us to believe you're somebody?
in her face and then grip her up by the neck.
You really expect me to not push you up against the wall, biatch?
But shut up, bitch!
All right, hey, that's just the way we talk in the clink.
But jail itself was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. And I think a lot of people who are watching this, I think they need to keep in mind it's basically designed to torture you.
Look, prison stinks, is what I'm saying. It's not like you can go home,
I didn't have yard time.
be with your friends.
I didn't have any friends.
Prison Mike, what was the food like in prison?
So when the old lady would bring me my food, I would sit and say, oh, this is the best food I've ever had.
Yeah.
An old lady brought him his food. That's kind of cute. It's like his mommy.
Well, thank you, Andy. Thanks.
Mike, what's the very, very worst thing about prison?
Don't encourage him, Dwight.
I would hunt cockroaches in the dark.
The worst thing about prison was the Dementors. They were flying all over the place.
Hear them calling. You were pitch black.
And they were scary, and then they'd come down and they'd suck the soul out of your body.
You want to front of bam.
And it hurt.
I sat in a jail cell making sure I could fix the problems for the people I love outside in the free world from a dungeon. That is what a man does, and you must prepare and set up your life for that.
Because you got a good life.
He sounds great in 10-second sound bites, and then he throws in the poison. So he could say, well, all I said was, you have nice cooking. And you're sitting there going, that's not all you said. You said you have nice cooking and you belong barefoot in the kitchen. And he's like, I don't know what's so offensive.
How many cars do you have?
Well, Decolt had 15. A lot of the cars were under company names. Some of those companies I don't own. Some of those cars I was borrowing or they were lent to me.
I declare bankruptcy!
He declared it. That was hilarious. The best one so far, Milk Bar. Amazing. Great. Yeah, the borrowed car and taking pictures with it, that's a very, very old, unimpressive trick, dudes. I guess maybe a super naive girl will be impressed, and that's probably why he likes him young, because he likes these girls to act like they're impressed with him. He needs it for his ego.
Attention economy, unfortunately, on the race to the bottom, while everyone does more and more stupid things to get views.
Alright guys, so it seems like Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate have returned to jail, and they're streaming live from jail.
Back in jail, old friend.
I don't think I am ever going to be surprised by how low they will sink.
This is Big Brother. You are in the other house, and you are the others.
Oh, this is how Andrew and Tristan got their start on reality TV in these Big Brother UFC houses.
I'm Andrew Tate. I'm 29 years old, and I'm a 4 times kickboxing world champion.
And if hanging around with an OnlyFans girl is going to get them some attention on the internet, they're going to do it.
And I also an OnlyFans business. And the reason I started this course is because a lot of people have been asking me, Tate, how do you get girls to work for you on OnlyFans?
Same as they're going to do anything else to get some attention on the internet, like degrade themselves endlessly.
Suicide, Kurt Cobain, McLaren 720, but it sound like a plane. When I'm on the road, stay in your lane.
Scream at a camera.
Something I haven't realized.
Be clowns. Be morons.
I'm too smart to read.
Whatever crap they do to get views.
Women are fucking stupid.
So I'll just start beating the shit out of you. How about that? We walk in the bedroom, I start kicking your ass, but you cry then. That's what they're going to do.
They are very likely going to be quoting him and showing this stuff to the judge or the jury. And it's going to be hard for him to say, I didn't mean it that way, because the impression lingers, the feeling lingers. When he says, this stuff spoke to my heart, people are going to believe him. And they will have the legal definitions in front of them, and that definition will be pounded into them if it's a jury. All right, guys, like and subscribe for more salty content if you haven't already. And stay safe, be respectful to women, and don't be a pimp.